this week was an exciting week down at the General Assembly for agriculture. The Farm Act became law. Governor Roy Cooper had vetoed the Farm Act last week, but on Monday night, the Senate voted to override the veto, and on Tuesday, the House followed suit. So it is now law. It is a 28-page bill. It has a lot of stuff in it. And the staff at the General Assembly provide a very helpful summary, so you can go check that out. It'll be linked in the email that you all get. But that summary was 12 pages, so we pared it down to 3.5 pages for you guys in the email, and we're just going to hit some highlights today so that we can all get to our 4th of July holiday a little faster. So we've picked out some of the things that we think you're going to be most interested in, and let's get started.
All right. So Section 1.3 of the bill does add a 12th member to the North Carolina Board of Agriculture, and that person must be a representative for the equine industry.
And Section 2 of the bill allows for agritourism signage to be placed in state highway right-of-ways. This is something that's been really important to our members over the years, making sure that they can provide directions to their farms and places like that. So now those are legal to be placed in the right-of-way when the farm is in season, and that's going to be dependent on the farm and what they grow. But that's an exciting development for our members as well.
Section 4.1 of the bill deals with the responsible party when they leave the scene of an animal waste spill, and this is mainly dealing with rendering trucks. It makes it a Class 3 misdemeanor if the driver of that truck leaves the scene of that spill. And so it does not deal with or apply to live animals or feathers. Section 5.4 of the bill authorizes the North Carolina Dairy Producers Association to conduct a referendum among their dairy producers on levying an assessment not to exceed 5 cents per hundredweight of milk.
And there were a couple of exciting developments on the agriculture awareness and marketing front, education front. Section 7 of the bill renames the official state fruit to the muscadine grape. That's going to include all varieties of muscadine. Section 8.1 designates the second Wednesday in November of each year as North Carolina Farmers Appreciation Day and calls for a celebration of that event to be held.
So a couple of sections that were clarifying and technical was Section 9 includes a number of Prescribed Burning Act amendments, and Section 14 is a digester general permit clarification. It also stated that it allows for collected gas to be flared under certain circumstances. So this is going to help our farmers who are transitioning to that new equipment on their farm.
And there were a couple of environmental provisions that are important as well. One of the environmental provisions, Section 14.1, requires the Department of Environmental Quality to reopen and modify the NPDES permit for aquatic operations. Those are mainly our trout farms in the west. So that permit will be reopened, and it also calls for the new permit to be very similar to the last one and not include some of the more burdensome requirements that were in the latest draft. Mm-hmm. Finally, the provision that actually got the bill vetoed to begin with is a provision that directs the Environmental Management Commission to go back and revise their rules about what constitutes state wetlands. It requires the state to use the same definition as the federal Waters of the U.S. rule under the Clean Water Act. So that will just provide clarity for people who need to go and seek permits. Now everyone will know that the federal definition of WOTUS is also the state definition.
Yeah, and that changes a lot, doesn't it? So the most recent case would be for them to fall under the Sackett case.
Yes, so the federal law has recently been settled a bit with the Supreme Court's decision in Sackett. We've done a lot of announcing that. That was good news for our farmers and our members, and so the fact that state law is now in line with that is a good thing.
All right. So that concludes our Capitol Roundup for this week, and we hope that y'all have a very safe and happy July 4th and celebrate Independence Day with your families and eat some burgers and hot dogs.